Get it. Get it. Yeah.
Me and Ali have put together a rough agenda, but for anyone that hasn't joined these sessions, this is not like a webinar type thing. This is just an open forum for something really that has kicked off on the chat, and one of the hosts has really sort of grabbed it by the reins and set up like a working session for everyone. So like this is for everyone to share ideas, share best practices, or specifically for this session, which is on video. If you've never done a video before because you're embarrassed, hopefully after this call, even if you didn't want to do it to book a meeting and send it to someone you didn't know, maybe you're going to feel comfortable enough to use it as part of your deal process. But me and Ali have split this sort of like into two different parts, or two different ways we use video. First of which is generating pipeline. Secondly is using it as part of the deal process. What do people want to start with, or which chapter do you really want to focus on more in this session?
I'd like to focus on both, but I would love to know some more around like prospecting videos, like what best practices, like what you should be saying, how long it should be, like what the structure should be, because sometimes it can be quite easy to just launch into like a whole 2-minute almost like video voicemail and it just becomes a bit irrelevant. So it would be good to hear a bit more about that. And also the best times to use it after a demo. I've started doing it a bit as demo recaps, but if there's any other suggestions that people have, like even getting a hold of someone if they've gone cold on you, like I've just never done that before. So if there's any best practice or things you guys have had luck with, that'd be great.
Thanks, Lily.
Same for me. Using it as part of the process. I think one of the things that I'm doing is instead of like doing a really long follow-up by video, I'm picking something specific within our product offering that's really important to them and doing like a screen share and a short like 30-45 second video that goes into that particular feature in a little bit more detail for them, just to add value. And I think obviously the face-to-face video stuff adds a bit more of a human connection, but that's really where I'm seeing the value. Can't say I'm using Vidyard yet though, so apologies. I'm hoping to be a convert by the end of this meeting.
Ali, there you go, sweet hot lead there, Mark Barrett.
I wanted to ask about the embedding feature within the emails. Does that affect the delivery rate or success rate of no? So is it just
because the video isn't actually embedded, you're just sharing it, and what's populating is a thumbnail, like a link. It doesn't affect the delivery rates you already see. Like 2 to 5% of your emails might get flagged by spam because some people have filters that are outside of our control, but for the most part, you're good. Like we work with cybersecurity organizations, big banks in the US, Amazon and whatnot, and they're all good to go as well. Just a very small amount, but for the most part, there's no significant difference.
Okay. And the second part to my question as well was, do you have any kind of best practices on how you maybe segment your accounts of creating a video that maybe isn't hyper personalized, that you can send out to a generic field, and then maybe your mid-tier and then your top tier? How you differentiate each account?
Yeah, absolutely. We can go over kind of using generic and pre-canned videos as well.
Cool, thank you.
Anyone else? Cool.
So I use Vidyard quite a lot as like a demo recap. What I find though sometimes it can actually be like, it works really well to keep the person you've spoken to engaged, but it can be detrimental if they share it with too many of the team, because it then gets rid of the curiosity that gets other stakeholders brought in and gets them onto demos. You know, like I'd rather speak to these people than them watch a video and make their own mind up as well. Do you do anything to counteract that at all, or anything? But have you experienced that yourself as well? It's kind of a little bit different, I guess.
I experienced the opposite, that people can just watch it on their own time and they can give me a yes or no faster. But it does depend. Are you dealing with more enterprise organizations, William?
It's a mix. It's a mix. It's definitely moving more to the enterprise. Yeah, but I have the response that you have as well, where it gets people really engaged. They love it as well. But I find as well, it's probably a good proportion of people just be like, yeah, I'm never going to speak to you. I've watched the video. I'm happy. Thanks. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah,
And
it's not
yeah.
necessarily bad, but not necessarily good. I just wondered if you'd experienced that and if there's anything you do at Vidyard to sort of
Yeah,
counteract that.
interesting feedback actually, Will, I have on that. I got told this by my boss, like the demo follow-up is never for the people that you spoke to. It's for people that you haven't engaged with. And so like it's potentially worth bearing in mind. So I do something similar to Mark, where I will either, if I'm in a very big compete against my biggest competitors, and that's like the main reason or something, I'm going to hit them on that, or hit them on like the differentiation slide as part of the demo follow-up. Or if there is a specific part of the like key criteria that I wanted to focus on, normally I use demo follow-up to hit key criteria, to be honest. So like we have a slider at Salesloft where based on the information that I have from the discovery or demo, like these are the 6 points that you want to achieve by buying software, be that at whoever, right? And that's not something that I'm hitting on all the things that Salesloft's great at. That's like what they've told me. So I'm like, here's your key criteria. This is what we're going to align to. We'll change at any point. And then potentially after that, I create other videos based on specific areas of the product, which are bespoke to them, saying like, hey, this is a feature that you really cared about, automating emails as an example. This is how we do it. Here's a 1-minute clip for you to share around.
Mm-hmm. What could be helpful too is including, so like features, like the buyer interested in the features, but like why would a CEO care? Like for us here at Vidyard, like we have really great onboarding and training, which is awesome, but like what does that do for the CEO and who's signing? So like the time to value, you're going to see your time to value a lot faster. The CEO, CFO, they don't care about video. They just, how are we, like, what is this going to do financially? So like the feature combined with what it will do for the people who sign off.
Sometimes, do you know what, another way that I've been asked for it before, I don't know if anyone has to do this in their role, but sometimes I have to make, like if I'm not allowed in the boardroom, I have to make board packs for my champions to go and sell it internally to the C-suite. And so in that, I go like, here's the presentation. This is me walking you through the presentation in a 3-minute video. And here is the demo of this part, the demo of this part, the demo of this part. It's almost getting preemptively and using video to arm your champions as best as possible is like how I really use it, rather than just being like something that you just do generically after every sort of demo follow-up. It's like, right, this person is going to help me sell this. I'm going to arm them with everything possible and all the resources that they need to go and help me sell it. So
yeah,
for example,
you don't want them to sell your software for you.
Exactly,
That's
especially if you're selling cybersecurity. I like having someone internally go and explain, in my case, like, oh, cadences, they do this. The CEO might just be like, what the hell is that? Just be like, oh, there it is. There's the AE I'm speaking to. This is him explaining it.
Jack, do you embed that into a presentation that you send to them? Or is that a separate attachment in an email or on the email or a folder that you send over to them?
Yeah, let me, yeah, it looks something similar to this. Do you know what? I'll just show you what like the template looks like. Bear with me. This might be quite good for everyone.
Yeah, because it's quite an interesting way of doing it.
I use also playlists a lot. So you can put in more than one video. So the first video, and I can share it after Jack. It'll say like 3-minute or 2-minute proposal walkthrough. Please watch as I speak to certain nuances. I need them to watch that. And then like if they're interested in like our HubSpot integration, I will have that in there as well. And anything else that they're interested in. We're just making it really easy for them to get the information they need.
Do you know what I even do now? I don't even write like what people may know Charlie Johnson on Salesloft. She's an SDR. She's like an absolute beast. She started to test out just not even writing hey name in her emails. And I was like, why don't I do that in my like emails now? So as part of my follow-up, the video is the first thing that they see. No like, hey, rubbish, or like, thanks so much for your time today. Like, here's the recording. It's just bam, there's the video. Here's the recap. These are the 3 things we covered, or these are the things we covered, and here's next steps. And it's as simple as that. So it'll look something similar to this. Let me show you, bear with me. Let me just cut out a little bit of this. Let me share my screen.
I work in HR tech, Jack, so they love the fluffy stuff.
Do they?
Yeah, got to get in there. It was so lovely chatting to you today. It really was.
I think it's because all you hear from sales leaders all the time on LinkedIn is like, oh, you've got to cut all the noise, just cut this, make it short and all that. So like helpful for Jack and I because we sell to sales tech, but if you don't sell to other sales leaders,
I totally buy the dropping of the "I hope you're well." Like it's one of the most generic, unnecessary things I've ever seen. But I do not buy losing that like human decency of like saying thanks for your time.
I say it in the video.
Okay, all right.
So it's like the video will either start with me and my whiteboard with my Salesloft stickers on it, and I'll write like, thanks for your time, and the stakeholders' names on there, and my GIF is like me spinning the whiteboard.
Sure.
Or alternatively, it will be me sharing the screen on the deck or whatever part of the demo. Like, hey, thanks so much for your time. It's just not putting it in writing, so I'm like just doing it in the video.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We've digressed. So, cool.
Jack, you should be able to share your screen now. I had the option off for you, but you should be able to do it now.
It's cool. It's gone now. I got rid of all of it. But anyway, I can do it as part of like the follow-up to be like, these are what I do for demo follow-up and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I can quickly share my screen. It'll probably be a lot different than what Jack does.
Yeah, Ali's got loads of resources, which we're going to share with everyone afterwards.
So I just hi everyone, thanks for your time. I was calling a company the wrong name in my demo yesterday. I was super embarrassed, so I have to apologize. But basically, I just created a playlist, as I just mentioned, just a walkthrough, and like in our proposal, like I'll quickly just show what the feature is and explain what that's going to do for upper decision makers. And they are really interested in HubSpot. I also include something that we didn't go over, like the Vidyard data on the back end, because they'll be using HubSpot, and just like a customer story. And I just include resources and then like best practices information, because here at Vidyard, like we're a tech, obviously, but you have to use us for it to work. So I need to help people to start thinking about how they want to use it right away. But no, just super simple. And then they just forward this to their counterparts, whoever helps in the decision-making process. They can just watch it on their own time. And then we have our decision call booked next week, and they committed to sending it to their CEO before then. So yeah, just super simple, super easy.
And so that's what you'd send after the first demo?
Yeah, so our sales cycle, my team's is like, I do a discovery, demo, and pricing all in 45 minutes. So I can do it real quick. So just something that's important to other decision makers as well, that will keep them engaged if it's a slower sales cycle.
And in that proposal video, is there a specific thing, like structure you'll follow each time? Sorry if you just said that.
No, in the video, it's just kind of going over the pricing, like this is what you need to help you achieve XYZ. We do 1-year contracts. And then I just kind of quickly show what each feature is that's on the proposal and explain. So branded sharing page, like, so that's gonna help you like drive more website traffic or something like that. So I just go through each feature super quick, and I won't go through all of them, maybe just highlight what's important to them. But yeah, just explaining it and showing it like as you would teach anything.
And best practice is usually that video should be 3 minutes, around that. Shouldn't be any longer, shouldn't be any less.
Yeah, I try to do 2 minutes, but this person came inbound and they're really interested and they're on a quick timeline. They want to use us. So it's okay to be a bit longer. You can kind of gauge that, but try to do 2 to 3 minutes. Sometimes I'll do a 5-minute micro demo because people always ask, can you send me the meeting recording? Are you going to watch a 45-minute meeting recording? No. So I'll just record a 5-minute one. They don't watch it every time, but it just saves. I just want to take as much work off of my champion and their decision makers as possible, just to make it easier for them.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, pricing is a classic use case, right? Not just being like, oh yeah, here's the price.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk through, even if it's just you like copy and paste the presentation and just create another one for those 2 slides, and you just share your screen with those 2 slides, being like, these are the packages we have based on your requirements. We're going to go with this package, which includes X, Y, Z, which is this price. And then potentially you can negotiate on there where you can like pull your levers. I'll give you 20% off if you give me referrals, et cetera, et cetera.
Would you send that video instead of ever sending the pricing slide?
Yeah,
Always,
I
or would you-
send the pricing slide with always the video, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's
Um,
interesting. We won't deliver pricing unless they come onto a call with us.
Yeah, after the call.
Yeah, this is in the follow-up.
Oh, so this is just a follow-up from
Yeah.
the original pricing call. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that makes sense. Ours is on our website as well, but if they just ask for pricing, they usually don't want to meet with you.
Yeah. That's true.
Another thing that I found really helpful that I just implemented, I have like a Salesloft cadence. It's just one template and it's very generic. It just says regarding a Vidyard proposal, any questions. So if our decision call is booked 4 days out, or they didn't book a decision call with me, I put the champion in this cadence right away. It will send 3 days after I send them the proposal. And I just kind of say, I just want to check in and see if try not to use the word just, see if there are any questions, concerns that came up that I can help with right away before we connect again. So that's pretty vague. It doesn't mean like we have a meeting booked or anything, but my response, and it's just a video I recorded once, just saying, hey, any questions? Here's my phone number. And my response rate is 40%. I've only sent it to 15 people so far. But what this does, it gives people will ask me questions and give me information that I wasn't able to get on our first demo. They'd be like, hey, Ali, we just met with like Hippo Video. Like, what are the differences between like your HubSpot integration? So they'll like ask you questions you didn't get prior. Or
going back to the pricing, if you have like an option where there are just hundreds of different options or like 50 different options, what's the best way to present them? Because usually we send over a few options, but they'll always want to see the full range.
Yeah, so you could do it in a playlist. Option 1, 60-second video, option 2, option 3, option 4. So you could do it that way. I
Is
try
pricing, Matt, quite generic.
Not really. That's the problem.
Quite
It's
bespoke.
specified each time. Yeah, and then you can pull out like certain different options and present those, but they'll always want to see different options to the ones that you sent. It's based on users. That's why.
Matt, so we're quite similar, mate. So one of the ways that I would then do it is I basically explain to them that we can't deliver pricing to you over an email. We can't just send it to you. We have loads of different options. We're looking at a number of different factors. Let's have a call, explore those different options, identify the 3 that are likely to resonate most with their business, and then deliver that follow-up video with those specific 3 pricing options. That's the way around I'd do it.
Okay,
I find if you give people too many options, they just
Yeah.
like back out of it. You like want to give them option A and option B, and just push them down one of the paths. Even if you've got loads of options, just make your decision. Say, I'm the expert here. This is what you need, and then scale it down if you need to.
Ours is quite territory dependent. So like we'll either do like a specific country rollout, or we'll just do a complete global rollout. So I'll often give it like an option A being full global rollout, option B specific country. But that's just my example.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like every time I've given someone lots of different options for packages, even when they've requested them, it's always backfired, and they're like, they can't handle the information even though they asked for it. So it's just like, nah, just say this is the one that's best for you.
Yeah.
How did you get to this conclusion, Will? Well,
Too many. This is the biggest one. Like, most amount of money. But yeah.
Yeah, it's always the most expensive one that's the best option for that.
True.
Love it.
Followed
Ali,
by
I
the
was-
second most expensive one.
Ali, I was just going to ask, after you've sent that response to the proposal, I really like that. I think I'm going to start doing that. Is there any other times that you would say there's been a really good response rate later in the sales cycle where you've used a video, like as I said earlier, to re-engage someone that's gone cold, or just something that's worked really well? Because you always usually think of it as a prospecting tool, right? So it'd just be interesting to hear what your experience is.
Yeah, and a really great one. Do you guys use the free tool for Vidyard right now?
Yeah,
Like
I do. My
with-
company does. Yeah.
With the free tool, I think you get a real-time notification as well. It will say someone at salesloft.com watched your video. I don't think it says who.
No,
But
it
once
doesn't say
that
who. It says how
Yeah.
much.
But you kind of know who it is because you see the title of the video. Like it'll be like proposal for this company or proposal for you, Steve. As soon as they watch it, like I'll just call them. Like maybe I've sent them the proposal video. and they watch it 2 weeks later and they're going dark, as soon as I get that notification, I know it's them because it's the title, just call. But you could just, I like to just get creative. I use my animals a lot, like me, like my dog. I'm sure you're sick of my face by now. Like, and is there any other ways that I can support you as you make this decision? And usually they'll just like laugh and respond back to me, give them a call. Something just creative I'll use, like if they start to go dark. But what you could do is like even add other steps in like a proposal follow-up. So I just have the one, but you could add other ones as well. I can't think of any right now off the top of my head, but if I make one, I'll let you guys know.
Another good use case, everyone, that I've done in the past is, as part of my cadence for closed lost opportunities, the first step is a Vidyard saying like, thanks for your time. Like we spoke about XYZ. I'm going to put you in my 3-month cadence. If it's better time, reach out. It's just that like extra personal touch to leave them thinking like, although they can't engage with you now, like, oh, okay, Jack was a good guy. He's spent extra time, even though he's not going to make any money now, like engaging me for later on.
People think that about you. You're a good guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah, 1 out of all of the 100 models I've ever had.
You can even automate it. Like I do the same thing as Jack. When someone's closed lost, I'll put them in a dead ops cadence, and it's mine is all generic. Just saying like, hi from Alley from Vidyard. Just want to get Vidyard back in your radar in case now's a better time. And then the first reply rate's pretty high with like 11%, and then it gets pretty low as you go, but that's pretty typical for most cadences, but at least I get that response on that first one.
And how long do you normally wait for that?
3 months. So like it'll say like day 1 won't start until 3 months after I put them in. Here at Vidyard, we have to wait 3 months before we re-engage with someone. We just have like rules of engagement here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I know, Lily, you asked about kind of like top of funnel, like what to say, how long the video should be. So in terms of length, like you want to keep them between like 30 seconds, 60 seconds tops. I would say 45 seconds is the sweet spot. And something my manager just reminded me of, our team of, is that you want to say your hook like right away. Like, why are you reaching out like to them specifically, rather than just saying, hey, like Alley from Vidyard, I know you're a VP of sales over at Hootsuite, reaching out because of XYZ. Like we're kind of like taking too long to get there. So whatever that hook is, you want to say it as soon as possible. Like cold calling, you only have 7 seconds to catch someone's attention. And always have how long the video is in the text of the email. Like I made a 45-second video for you, because then people will be like, oh, that's so nice. This person made me a video. I'll give them 45 seconds of my time here. In a really good subject line that for me has a 60% open rate is a video just for you name. And just is like capitalized. I don't know why it's working, but it is.
Yeah, another one I have is very similar to that, Ali. Got, of the thousands of videos I've sent, my top performing ones have been name and Jack.
Yeah.
Straight line down, video for you.
Mm-hmm.
First name, personalized video for you. And then those are probably my top performing ones, like when I just put their name in the subject line, but I think it's for you to test out.
Mm-hmm. I'll even do like the exact same, but I'll do a playlist for you. So like 10-second video that I already made once, like, hey, I'm sure you're sick of my voice, video from a customer to follow. So we'll do the playlist route.
Yeah. And
that playlist feature is only available to premium Vidyard users, isn't it?
You better buy premium then. Ali, get on him. That's another one on the list.
I don't know. Our playlist only, I feel like you might try doing a playlist with free, because you can just try selecting more than one for an email. I could be wrong.
You might be right, actually.
Yeah. And for like account-based videos, you can even just go to someone's website or like, and just send it. If there's like 4 people you're reaching out to, just go to their website. Or I like to use Canva to make little presentations, and I'll just drop their logo in there as well. like a 30-second presentation. It's something you can do.
Oh yeah, show us how you do that, Ali.
Yeah. Google just locked me out. 1 moment. I've changed my password like 18 times, but I forget it. It's okay. So I'll just share my Canva is really messy. So just like ignore that. But I have, so basically I'll put like a value of video and I'll just go to my Canva and I'll just Google search the company, like their logo. And then you can just copy and paste it. I get rid of this one and I just copy and paste it into here so they know it's for them. And then like whatever I want to highlight on, maybe it's close rates. I'll just talk about like one thing, like for 30 seconds, just to give them a little visual. But then like, cause all of your elements will be, or is it your photos?
I like this.
Yeah. And I use it a lot. Like I even use this presentation for a Vidyard. Sometimes I have to sell video and Vidyard. Sometimes it's just Vidyard. If I have to sell video as well, I'll even make like a presentation just on video in general.
Any questions?
I think this has been really, really insightful. Ali, definitely want to connect with you afterwards because we're definitely building the user case for video for our AEs here in Nudge. We did a really cool project for any of you guys that are interested at the end of June, where we got a video production company to come in for an afternoon, and they recorded AEs who basically did like 60-second videos of their top opportunities, like our 10 top opportunities, where we said it's been amazing working with you guys over the last 3 months, hearing about your different challenges, and exploring those with you. This is how we can support you. And then a 2-minute video of our founders talking about how we've helped other organizations. So it was a collectively 3-minute video, beautiful branding put in it, really nice like background music, super powerful. And we've had some absolutely remarkable responses. But obviously that's come at quite a cost to the business. So I just wonder whether there's a lot that can be done with Vidyard instead of going down that route. So I'm very keen to pick up that conversation.
Yeah, let's connect over. Anyone can connect with me over LinkedIn as well. I'm always happy to help, regardless if you want to buy Vidyard or not.
Definitely, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. But no, and then in terms of just getting, I know like this, being nervous about video is always a thing for some people, maybe not for everyone here. I would just like to tell my customers, like, remember when your team or yourself did your first cold call? Like, I was not well, like doing my first cold calls, but then you just did it and you got over it and you got good at it. And that's a good mindset to have. And your videos don't need to be perfect. If you stumble on your words, it's fine. Just make like a joke out of it. Like, oh, I didn't have my caffeine, or the caffeine hasn't hit yet. Something like that. People love that one. As long as you like keep it professional and you don't swear unless you have that kind of relationship with your customer, then you're fine. Like 1 take, maybe 2. If it's the 3rd take, just send it. Like you don't need to spend too much time recording your videos.
Also, if it's completely polished, then it's just not going to feel authentic.
Yeah.
Like make mistakes and just embrace them.
Yeah.
Be my advice.
Exactly.
Harry, did you have a question?
I'm having to, I suppose, sell this internally to the rest of the team, because my team are all like 50 plus and they've never used Vidyard or video or direct mailing or anything like that. How best is it for me to go and sell this to them for an adoption point of view?
Close some deals with Vidyard, mate.
Yeah, just like if you even just use the free tool and just show them your stats, like with like your open rates and response rates with video, that'll be helpful. But a lot more traditional businesses are like, they're not even just using video for sales. They're transitioning the way they do business because of like the pandemic and people are still remote. Like Expeditors is like a huge organization, and like now like they slash their entertainment and travel budget, and then they're just using video now, and like maybe they'll go drive to see someone. But it's pretty cool to see the way like these traditional businesses are just changing.
Yeah. And do you think there's a generational success rate as well?
A bit, yeah. Like the onboarding is a little more of a struggle with an older generation, like getting used to the tool. Like most of us are so tech savvy, like we see the information and just click and play and learn it. But I would say the learning curve is a lot faster with the younger generation, but I have seen older generations like get on board pretty quickly as well.
Okay, cool.
One other tip that I have as well that we've not really talked about is that Vidyard was so effective for me that I like wanted to make sure that I was pushing as many people as possible to that channel. So as part of my cadence, the first step was a LinkedIn connection request saying like, hey, I'm going to send you a video later today, like keep out for it. And it was like, it wasn't a classic connection request where you're being like, I was just trying to push them to that without, it was just a give really, isn't it? And then in the afternoon, I would send them the video. I'm lucky in the fact that I sell to salespeople, so most people are on LinkedIn, but I don't know, Mark, for you in HR, like, do you get much traction on LinkedIn? Like, how do you use it as part of like your pipeline generating process? You use HubSpot and Nudge, don't you? So you probably have HubSpot sales.
Good knowledge. Good knowledge. Yeah, HubSpot. Yeah.
Do you like, is LinkedIn a good channel? How do you make sure that you're like optimizing it for opens and clicks?
LinkedIn, to be honest with you, like just standard LinkedIn is a good channel for us, definitely. But I'm in the process of getting rid of my LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I'm just having absolutely no joy with it whatsoever. But yeah.
Fair enough. So a tip that like I got taught is always use video within your like first 1 to 4 steps.
Yeah.
Not much point doing it after that. Do you know what? As part of my cadences, I found video so effective. I was like, yeah, I'm going to send a video as like part of, or like step 10 of my cadence. No one opened it or anything. I'd have spent like ages doing something. Yeah, Nindy, come on. This is like a live forum. You come and ask questions.
So so Jack, I'm doing like a personalized email, and I'm finding that the shorter the email, the more traction it's getting. I then send a follow-up about 2 or 3 days later that just says, any thoughts, literally as punchy as that. No hello, no like nothing, just literally any thoughts, ? And then my third step is a personalized video to get the boat race going and see if I can try and drive some sort of human connection that way. Because obviously at the end of the day, like your email's got to be absolutely pucker to get it opened. But yeah, video is super helpful. I will be honest with you, Ali, I've been using Loom, but I'm going to be checking out Vidyard a bit more.
Yeah, the thing with Loom is great. It doesn't give you any data analytics though. Like you won't get any real-time notifications. With the free tool you will, so that will help with cold calling. It'll say someone watched the video, but again, it will say the title of the video they watched. So make sure if you're not changing the title of your videos from Vidyard recording to a title, make sure you do so. But let's say your team wanted to purchase a solution, Loom, you can't identify any viewers unless the person you're sending the video to has a Loom account and they're logged into that Loom account. So it makes more sense they're really great for internal comms, basically, or for people who just don't need to track like any data. There's a caveat there.
Yeah, cool. That's great.
You had a question.
I had a quick question. I don't know if I'm jumping the queue.
You're good.
But my question is, so I've been a huge fan of sending videos to people for various parts of prospecting and even, you know, after sort of demo stage and stuff. My question is, how do we go about when we're selling into more traditional markets? So maybe, I don't know, the PC way of putting it, but maybe a slightly older, more traditional demographic, right? So banking, finance, for example, where they're more used to a suit and tie coming in and, you know, doing various kind of parts of their sales process. How do we kind of step away from video content being more of a gimmick? If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Do we experience that or not? I don't know.
No, that's always a concern. Like video can do it. You can make video whatever you want it to be. So you can be like how we use it, waving with the whiteboard, or you can just I would honestly just go to their website and do a screen share video. just like straight to the point, something like that. But I can look at, we have an inspiration hub. If you, we'll share it after as well. And there's tons of examples that we have made, like for more of a traditional market, obviously, or more startup-y market.
Cool. No, that makes sense.
I think it's tough as well, Nindy, from selling into like enterprise as well. The spam filters they have, I feel like block video quite a lot. Like that's my challenge. And they'll be like, oh, I'll get them on the phone maybe like a week later. And I'll be like, oh, did you see my video? And they were like, oh no, I didn't see anything. Like, I think it was blocked. I'm like, great.
It's also a great excuse. It's like a really good fallback. It's like, oh no, yeah, our security probably figured that out. Well, probably not, because I saw X amount of views, or I saw that you were interacting, or someone was interacting with it. And yeah, it's just hard to make it as important as it is, as important as we know it can be for certain prospects, for everyone, I guess, if that makes sense.
Nindy, do you connect?
I'm a huge fan of video content.
Do you connect with a lot of your prospects on LinkedIn, and do they accept as well?
Yeah.
Because what I was doing when I'm not hearing back, or if it's going through spam filters or whatever, I just copy and paste the same video into like a LinkedIn message after I've sent them the connection request, like saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then that usually, if they don't see on email and it is of interest and they see it on their LinkedIn, they'll get back to me there. It's just quite a nice touch as soon as you've done on the email to just do it on the LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Even you can just, I do it as well. I just in the title, like 30-second video for you, Nindy, and I won't even say anything in the text. So they'll click play.
Yeah. I like, oh, I made this for you, Ali, for example, and then, you know, what it's about. So.
Yeah, we found massive success rates when we stopped, because you find a lot of people will do a video for somebody, but then pitch in the email as well. So they don't even click on it because they know what it's about. Like when we just said like, hey, Nindy, video, keen to understand how, there's so much human curiosity of like, oh, how, what? I have to watch it. And then the reply rates get quite better. Even if they reply to say no, it's just a reply, right? So it's what you want.
I guess then the other question I have is, what are we sending? So if we're using anything like Vidyard or anything else, what are we then sending afterwards as a follow-up if we get some interaction, but we're not getting a direct reply? What do we do, or what are you guys doing in response?
I've got a good one, Nindy. If I get a notification saying someone has watched my video, I'll, within like as quickly as I possibly can do, back to that email, say like, hey, I'm getting some like, I get some like analytics on Vidyard. I can see that you've viewed it. Hopefully you're not laughing at my bad acting skills. And then I'll put like a smiley face and then be like, great to show you how XYZ, like I can use it as part of my selling, right? And it would just be like 1 or 2 lines. Just try and make a joke out of it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, and just have that as a template too, so you don't have to type it out every time.
Yeah,
I've done that myself, Jack, and I said I'm not going to win an Oscar for my performance, and I've never had a reply from that.
really?
I've done it like probably a couple hundred times. Like every time I see someone do it, I'm rested, and I've never had a reply from it.
That just shows that salespeople are more fun than CISOs, Harry. That's why.
So just playing like devil's advocate to that, how many salespeople do you think have emailed them saying, I'm not going to win an Oscar, not gonna, you know, close this based on my acting skills, etc., etc.? Or should you just let your videos do the talking? Just throwing it out there.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I tried it because it works. Like as soon as I start to get like quite, if they've done it once, then I probably won't do it. But if it's like 3 or 4 watching it, and I can especially mark when you start to get a lot and you're like, right, this is getting forwarded around, then I'll hit them with it.
Yeah.
And normally as well, when it's being watched around, like you want to get that sort of emotional response to be like, okay, I've enjoyed this video, I'll have a bit of your time, right? Rather than letting them ponder on it, and then you've waited 3 more days and given them a cold call and they're like, man, we chatted about this, not interested.
Yeah.
That's what you want, right? Like, and if you personalize it as well to like, if they only watched 88.48% of the video, like replying to be like 88.84, you know what, why didn't we get to the end or whatever? And they're like, they know, you know, that they didn't watch all of it. And as I say, it's just trying to prompt a response. Like if they get back to you like, look, it's not for us, then you do what you do with that response. But it's obviously they might look at it and be like, yeah, no, I didn't need to see the end. Let's have a call or whatever.
Yeah. Another
Or
one.
Mark. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, like, even that thoughts email you were saying before, like that just works really well for me. Every video I send, it's got the highest response rate in my cadence.
Yeah, it's the
soon as I
most
send that
amazing
video.
response rate I've had. Yeah.
Rather than talking about Oscars and acting, like it's just straight to the point, and I think a lot of people appreciate that.
Also, like, well, I certainly find it's very successful with the British market because we hate to offend over here. So, you know, if somebody's ignored my email and I then send them another email saying any thoughts, like our instinct as Brits is to go, oh gosh, and respond. But yeah, less success with the American market.
You can even shorten it to just thoughts.
Yeah.
I know you use that.
That's all I send is thoughts and
that's
question
all I
marks.
send.
No hi, no my name or anything. It works well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Can I ask slightly off track question then? So are we just by not necessarily show of hands, but just by nods or you know anything else? Are we all AEs here then?
Yeah,
we are always, because I think well, just thinking out loud, I think a learning I'm taking from this is that when we using like terms like cadence and things like that, obviously we're taking outbounding on a methodical basis quite seriously, whereas I feel like hearing you guys talk about it means that there's a big gap in my play because I'm not nearly as structured in terms of outbounding as you guys must be.
Right, Nindy, I feel like you could do with a little platform that's called Salesloft. No, I'm joking. Shotgun.
Behave, Jack.
I think most probably people on this call like use some form of like cadencing or sequencing platform, which really helps with follow-up, Nindy. Like,
I think I've just been very lucky, very, very lucky to have just very good like BDR, SDR support. But yeah, it feels like I'm missing out on a big chunk.
I use one massively just for like my follow-up after a demo. I don't know how I would engage with ops if I didn't put them in a cadence, to be honest. And like Vidyard is part of that as well.
Yeah. We were talking actually, Nindy, before you joined a bit later on, like we originally started on not just generating pipeline using Vidyard, but using it as part of the sales process. And you can create those sequences of events post follow-up or post demo, closed lost opportunity campaigns, whatever they can be, where you're using video throughout those as well.
No, I agree. I just think it's something that I need to take away. But no, I completely agree in principle.
But guys, you like, I'm sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but you can get so like creative, and you can argue that these potentially aren't creative and just a bit creepy. But like we've been selling to Molson Coors, massive global beer brand. And when the Euro final, dare I mention it, was on, I went out and bought some beers. Rest assured, I did not buy Coors Light, but I picked up a crate of Coors Light, took a little video in Sainsbury's, and was like, great to see these flying off the shelves. Hope you guys have had a great week and enjoy the final tonight. And just sent like a 25-second video to Molson Coors, which they absolutely loved. I picked up some brew dogs, just didn't tell them that bit. And then equally like Harrods in Terminal 5 opened for the first time after the pandemic. I was flying out to Portugal, sent a little video to my contact at Harrods just saying, great to see Harrods back up and running again after a tough year for you guys. Hoping that the business can bounce back from the pandemic. Just little things like that where actually you're just not being salesy, you're just being really thoughtful about their business. Is a brilliant way to integrate video into your process.
Yeah.
And that's just relationship building, but you guys, I'm sure, have got that down to a T.
Yeah, it's a good way of doing it. Like if you don't have a platform like Reach Desk or like direct mailing, when someone changes jobs, just sending them a video being like, congrats on the new job, even if you were to do it on LinkedIn or even not email.
Yeah.
It's more personal.
Ali, how do you find the best way to send Vidyards are for like not necessarily replies, but just engagement and opens?
Mostly email, but LinkedIn is still a great channel, so I still use it. I don't use InMail because if you're not connected with someone, the gift doesn't populate, and that's a LinkedIn security feature. And I've tried messaging around it, but it just doesn't work. But most email is more effective, but LinkedIn's effective enough that I've booked meetings off of it.
And how important is the GIF over like a hyperlink? Like what's the difference in open rate?
Because you can see like there's a person in this video, like they wrote my name in here, like they made this for me. It doesn't come off as spammy. Whereas like so many people a lot of people rightfully so are scared to just click click a link.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I even had someone who came inbound to Vidyard who was interested in learning. I had a demo and was sending her videos, and she would say like, Allie, I can't click anything from folks who are trying to sell to us. I was like, you literally came to us. Like, I don't think video then will be the solution.
Ali, maybe it was you walking through your like stats and stuff. Like, do you have any like decks, or we're all going to share these after?
Yeah. Just like generic stats in the sales cycle of video.
Yeah.
Yes. Which one do I want here? I'll do this one. So this is something actually like we'll do on some of my demos. I don't go through the whole thing just in case some people don't believe in video, which is fine. But the stats that I have and we can send afterwards as well. So a lot of like big in the US, like Forrester Tech Tide, I don't know if it is in the UK, but my CEO says if it's in Forrester Tech Tide, like it's not a lie. And they just added like a new enablement tool, like a new topic, like user generated video, like it's brand new. And they even mentioned that Vidyard is the only company that like the robust platform, but anyhow, I digress. So 76% of businesses do report that video is their best performing content. But furthermore, 80% of B2B buyers prefer remote sales interactions. So like a lot of people, when they're learning about video, they're worried about themselves and like how they're going to come off and if they're nervous and the time it takes for them to make videos. But what people forget, it's not about you. It's about your customer and how they feel and how they like to buy. And a way we can marry the two in terms of like video performance and how buyers like to buy is with asynchronous video, like recording videos. So in terms of top of funnel with video, like average open rates, and it does like depend on like subject lines in your messaging. Most of our customers, like Vidyard customers specifically, see an open rate of like that first touch personalized video, 60%. Increase book meeting rates by 2 to 4x. It does kind of range there. But without video, and I actually used to work for a lead gen company where I did thousands of cold calls and emails on behalf of other organizations, like open rates 10% and response rates, book meeting rates were abysmal. And I like to keep cold calling in here because you can use them in tandem, as I've said before. So when you get a notification, you can do that email follow-up, but honestly, like pick up the phone and give them a call. You don't even have to tell them that you saw that they watched your video. Just be like, hey Jack, I was that crazy person waving at you in your inbox. What, like, curious to know your thoughts. And like, they're available. Most people will laugh. Sometimes they tell you to buzz off, but that's in any case. And the reason why I include that in there is because like McKinsey sales, top performers rely on video and cold calls. They are really great channels to use in tandem. And even after, if you do cold call, send a video saying, hey, we're putting a face to the voice. I know I caught you at a bad time. Sorry, someone's not muted. Hear the background noise. I don't know if everyone could hear me. No worries, Mark. And then of course, using it throughout the sales cycle, like my favorite one is 75% of late stage prospects who received a personalized video decided to buy. Like even for people going dark, or like my DocuSign's out, they've given me the verbal, but they're taking forever to sign. Even just sending a personalized video with their name on a whiteboard, they never click play, but it gets them to answer me by seeing my face in there with their name. Or they're like, oh, just signed Allie for the most part, or they'll have a question. And then it does help with close rates for our customers who start using video, see a boost in their close rate from like 41% versus those who don't use video. So we work with Proposify. It's like another proposal organization, and their customers who use video to go over proposals, they have a 41% higher close rate versus those who don't. So it really does help throughout every stage. But basically, like what I like to say to folks too, like video is the future. Like millennials and Gen Zs coming into the workforce, like most 1 in 2 Gen Zers and millennials say they use video day to day. So I try to say it eloquently, like to an older generation, like it's okay if you don't want to get on board, but someone else someone else will. And I've even had customers like let go of people who don't want to use video, which is pretty dramatic, but I don't tell people to do that.
Cool.
That'd be quite savage, wouldn't it?
I
Sorry,
know.
guys, we just implemented Vidyard. You're out.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Hopefully people have found this useful. We can probably give everyone some time back to prep for their next calls.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thanks very much, Ali. Thanks, Jack, and the team for organising. It's really helpful.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help, as mentioned, regardless if you guys want to buy or anything.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining, Ali.
Really helpful, Ali. Thank you.
You get a little reach test from me as a thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, Ali.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Get it.